Welcome to the Christmas special of Pete's Corner. I'm Cassie Gann.
And I'm Savannah Gocher.
In this episode, we will be going over Christmas traditions, and one tradition is the Elf on the Shelf.
And we actually have one here with us. His name is Bill. He's a little camera shy, but you guys should try and count how many times you see him on the screen. At the end of the show, we'll show you how many times.
And he will come out of his shell eventually. But you know what is so great about Christmas is the music.
I agree. I absolutely love Christmas music. And speaking of Christmas music, OSU is actually putting their own twist on Christmas music this year. Robin Hearn has the scoop on the band and their concerts.
What better way to bring in the holiday than with some joyful music? The OSU Symphony Orchestra is ringing in the season with some holiday tunes at their second annual Holiday Pops concert. This is another addition to add to their Halloween Pops that they put on in October. Before last year, the orchestra didn't have any holiday concerts until director Thomas Dickey thought it'd be a good idea to bring in some holiday joy to OSU.
Because there's just something about, hearing sleigh ride, hearing sing-alongs, or hearing movie music from the holidays that just makes everybody happy and in the holiday spirit, I think.
Now, Holiday Pops is becoming one of OSU's traditions to ring in the holidays. Members of the audience are encouraged to wear their ugly holiday attire, making it one of the more laid-back concerts the orchestra will have during the year. Holiday Pops is also an introduction for the audience to see what they can expect from the orchestra next semester when they perform more of their classical selections. And since it's the season of giving, during the concert there's a raffle that the proceeds will go toward scholarships for the School of Music. The concert includes 8 holiday selections that range from Christmas classics to Hanukkah favorites to even Disney's Frozen, making it open to all ages.
And I think it's a great opportunity for families to come together in we'll call it a less than traditional manner, just because in America we don't normally have a lot of concert attendance.
Holiday Pops not only has beautiful music, but a holiday atmosphere that is too contagious. This feeling is something that orchestra member Avery Jordan says is hard to ignore.
This music all the time just really gets me, music affects me a lot. So it really just gets me in the groove and in the spirit of Christmas.
With orchestra members in the holiday mood, it'll help the audience feed off of this feeling as well, including some of the OSU students. It's even better because it's during Dead Week. Holiday Pops is another tradition that can help students step away from studying and relax to some of their favorite holiday tunes. But don't forget your ugly Christmas sweaters. For Pete's Corner, I'm Robin Hearn.
Thank you, Robin. It's great to see that OSU's band is putting their own twist on Christmas music this year.
One thing that I like about Christmas are the Christmas movies.
I love Christmas movies too.
Well, you're in luck because Chris Notch and Landon Green give Pete's Corner's top 5 favorite Christmas movies. We'll send it to you, Chris.
Thanks, Cassie. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Notch.
And I'm Landon Green.
You're watching Pete's Corner's top 5 Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah, now this list only features feature-length movies. No Christmas specials.
Frosty the Snowman?
No Frosty the Snowman.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Jingle All the Way?
It might actually have Jingle All the Way. That is a feature-length movie, and it features my favorite actor,
Arnold
Sinbad.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to number 5. That is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, I think besides this being the first full-length movie based off of Dr. Seuss book, I think what Jim Carrey does as the Grinch is amazing.
Yeah. What's your favorite line from that movie?
My favorite is when he's looking at the phone book. He's like, hate, double hate, loathe entirely.
I think my favorite one's when he's in the cave and he's sitting there and he's trying to make the echo come back before he's saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm an idiot. And he goes, you're an idiot. That one always gets me. That one, for some reason.
That is a good one. Now, number 4 is Santa Claus, which is when Tim Allen, he is playing Scott
Calvin. Scott Calvin.
Yes.
SC Santa Claus.
Yeah,
Scott Calvin.
Scott Calvin. And he ends up being Santa and then having to, tell his family, like, hey, I'm the real Santa.
Yeah. Well, and it's in the Santa Claus, which is actually in the movie itself. Santa Claus is actually spelled with an E. That's the title of the movie because it's a clause in his contract as Santa. And when he puts on the jacket, he becomes Santa Claus.
I never knew that. I always think the funniest thing for me is when he actually, Calvin, Tim Allen's character comes out and he's like, hey, what are you doing up there? And he falls down and he kicks him.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if he's not responding, obviously he's probably
Yeah, he doesn't
not.
call 911 or anything.
Yeah, you just kick. No. Oh, okay.
I think my favorite part has to be the Sunday scene when he goes to the meeting. He's eating the Sunday. As a young fat kid growing up, there was just something about that scene that made me want a Sunday.
Maybe on a Sunday. Well, those are your 4 and 5, but please stay tuned throughout the show as we will give you the number 3, number 2, and of course the number 1 all along the way. So back to you, Cassie.
Thank you, Chris. And The Grinch is one of my favorite films because he stuffs the tree up the chimney.
Now, do you ever use a real tree for Christmas?
I go back and forth because it's so hard to find the perfect Christmas tree.
I agree. And if you're looking for the perfect Christmas tree, Hallie Barham has the place to go.
As the holiday season quickly approaches, many people have begun the search for the perfect Christmas tree. Specifically in Stillwater, Christmas trees can be found in a variety of stores throughout town. Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and Lowe's have a great selection of artificial trees, including trees with multicolored lights or even fake pine cones and snow. Hobby Lobby offers many sales in store on their trees and a 40% off coupon when customers open the store's app at checkout.
As a college student, I was looking around at multiple places for a Christmas tree, and when I went to Hobby Lobby, I was stunned and found that they had a variety of choices and the prices were good for me.
Lowe's in Stillwater offers a large variety of real trees to fit any need and any budget. When a customer purchases a tree at Lowe's, employees trim the tree, cut the trunk, bag the tree, and place it in the car so it's ready to go. So whether you want an artificial tree or a real tree, the decision is yours. I'm currently standing in front of my first ever artificial Christmas tree. When you're tree shopping this year, consider it time to spruce things up. Changing up your typical Christmas routine can be as simple as changing the color of your tree's lights or as complex as buying a brand new tree. For many first-time tree buyers, picking a tree can be a lot harder than it may seem. However, for those looking for a real tree, Lowe's Assistant Store Manager Zach Christian suggests not overthinking the search.
Look for a tree that's full. It doesn't have to be full all the way around because usually you've got it up against a wall so that you can get a really good side. Having the whole tree look really good doesn't impact as much as if you get a side that looks really good. You can kind of hide some deficiencies on the back side. Find a tree with the color you like, with the texture you like, with the needles. There's several varieties, but there's enough variety to be able to pick one that you really like.
With so many options in Stillwater, it all comes down to choosing the tree that best fits your home. And don't forget, someone's got to decorate. For Pete's Corner, I'm Hallie Barham.
Thanks, Hallie. Now I know where to buy my Christmas trees. Cassie, do you like building gingerbread houses?
I love the taste of them.
That's fair. Well, our own Kirsten White is going to take a DIY look on building gingerbread houses. Now, if you ever wonder where gingerbread houses originated, Brandon Davis has the scoop on the holiday tradition.
Have you ever wondered, where did gingerbread houses actually come from? Well, they have been around for a long time and heavily associated with fairy tales. Dating back to 16th century Germany, gingerbread cookies were enjoyed around Christmas. They were known as Lebkuchen cookies. But the idea of gingerbread houses were based off a dark children's story called Hansel and Gretel. In one scene from the story that was published in 1812, two starving children stumble upon a house made entirely of bread covered in cakes with windows made of pure sugar. Coincidence? Now, the tradition still stands for many students here at Oklahoma State, including Haley Hankins.
Building a gingerbread house has always been a tradition for as long as I can honestly remember. As we've gotten older, we've kind of stopped doing it, but I do have 3 younger cousins who do enjoy building gingerbread houses.
Gingerbread houses come in all sizes, including this one, but the tradition still remains. No matter how big or small it is, the togetherness of building a house with your friends or family is still close to this day.
I would say I'd like to pass this tradition down to generations to continue from my family. Building a gingerbread house has been a thing my mom has done, has been a thing me and my brothers have currently done, and I'd like my children to one day do it. Even though it's an older tradition, I think that it is still super exciting and something that you look forward to every Christmas.
The gingerbread houses might have come from a dark, twisted folk story, but they are still fun and wholesome for the holidays. For Pete's Corner, I'm Brandon Davis.
Thanks, Brandon. I was not expecting that story to come from gingerbread houses.
Well, we're actually going to take a break, but stay tuned because we have a few stories on how people celebrate Christmas differently.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza, pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie Ford Lincoln.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner, where we are talking about holiday traditions.
And Americans aren't the only ones that celebrate holiday traditions. Dylan Ford is going to give us a look on the Christian holidays celebrated around the world.
Christmas may seem like just an American holiday, but it's actually celebrated all around the world. Different countries and regions have their own little traditions or stories about Christmas. For example, in Iceland, they tell the legend of the Yule Lads. They're mischievous, gnome-like creatures that leave gifts in the shoes of good children and rotten potatoes for the bad ones. In Sweden, the most notable Christmas tradition is called the Galv goat. Since 1966, they've built a 13-meter-tall goat out of straw in the middle of Castle Square for Advent. Although nearly 80% of the population in India practice Hinduism, there are still 24 million practicing Christians in India who celebrate Christmas. Prashank Shah is from Mumbai, which has a 25% Christian population.
Yeah, back in Mumbai, they do celebrate, like my friends do call me for on 25th of December or 31st of December, they do call me they make some special curries and all. And
Christmas in America is almost always associated with snow. And we're supposed to get some in Stillwater this weekend, so grab your boots and your warmest winter coat. Now, Marlon Shepherdson went to OSU last year through the Study Abroad program. He's from a place where Christmas falls in the summer.
We have similar kind of Christmas trees and still similar traditions like Christmas Eve. But yeah, like I said, there's a good chance we'll be at the beach on Christmas with family or something like that, and no Thanksgiving, so it's kind of a gradual build up towards Christmas.
There are many Christmas traditions around the world. It truly is a worldwide holiday. From Icelandic Yule Lads to Black Friday bags, from a Christmas swim to a Christmas grin. For Pete's Corner, I'm Dylan Ford.
Thanks, Dylan. There are certainly some different and unique traditions around the world. Cassie, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just writing my letter to Santa. I've been really good this year.
Well, actually, I got to sit down with Santa this week and Mrs. Claus, and let's see what they're up to. There are hundreds of traditions around the world when it comes to the holiday season. Some depend on where you live, while others depend on what you celebrate. From reindeer to ornaments to trinkets and toys, there's one tradition that seems to withstand the test of time: Santa Claus. Although we now know him as the jolly man with a sack of goodies and a red suit, he's got a history dating back to the 3rd century. Jolly old St. Nicholas was a man believed to live around 280 A.D. He was known as a protector of children and sailors due to his exceptional kindness towards strangers. The name Santa Claus developed with his Dutch nickname Sinterklaas. As Christmas evolved in the United States and focused on gift-giving, the shopping mall Santa icon was born. Stores in New York City initially started advertising Christmas shopping in 1820. In 1841, a Philadelphia shopping mall allowed thousands of children to meet a real-life Santa Claus. By 1890, the Salvation Army began dressing unemployed men as Santa Claus to help raise money to feed the homeless. They still ring bells to solicit donations today. Santa and Mrs. Claus have traveled all over the world, bringing joy and gifts to children of all ages. They frequently hop on his sled to meet a wide range of people. As this tradition has grown into an every year sensation, Santa still meets for a good cause. The two recently stopped at a North Park Mall in Oklahoma City to greet children on their nice list and to benefit the OKC Rotary.
I love meeting all the different children from ages 1 day old to 100 years old. Each one is unique and each one is special, and I love meeting them all.
To just see the joy in their face it's worth everything.
Santa and Mrs. Claus will make multiple appearances across Oklahoma in preparation for Christmas just before headed back to the North Pole. For Pete's Corner,
Merry Christmas!
I'm Savannah Gocher. My family always says if you don't believe, you don't receive. So seeing Santa and Mrs. Claus was definitely a good kickoff to my holiday season.
And doesn't your sorority house do special things for Christmas?
Yeah, they do actually.
I do know of one house that has their own traditions, and Francisco Ochoa reports.
The most wonderful time of the year is finally here as Oklahoma State University students, faculty, and staff begin to celebrate the holiday season. The holidays are known for its magical Christmas festivities and traditions that are celebrated nationwide, but during this holiday season, the women of Delta 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 at OSU celebrate a Christmas tradition they throw every year for its members, called Big Little Christmas, as older members of the sorority give Christmas gifts to their newest members. The president of Delta Delta Delta, Landra Lockwood, says that this is a tradition about giving, spreading kindness, and building a strong personal connection with other sorority sisters.
Big Little Christmas at Tri Delta is all about giving and giving back to our sisters. It's really exciting to watch all the families get together and give gifts to each other. It's just a very special time in our sisterhood, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Many of the girls here at Delta 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 celebrated Big Little Christmas as they received several gifts such as stools, study boards, clothes, and more. Tri-Delta President-elect Alex Andrews remembers the gifts she created and received for other members in her Tri-Delta family.
So the first year that I experienced Tri-Delta's Big Little Christmas, I received a study board from my big, and it was beautiful. It had my favorite Bible verse on it, which really inspires me every time I study to just get after it and hit the grind. And then the next year, I was able to give back to my little and create her a study board that inspires her. She loves New York City, so I painted the New York skyline on it, and I just really hope it inspires her every time she's doing schoolwork to follow her dreams and do the work.
The Christmas cheer doesn't just live in the Greek community. It spreads throughout campus with an annual fanfare of lights on library lawn and other holiday traditions celebrated nationwide. The spirit of giving will always continue to be a part of the holiday spirit here at Delta 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 and around the world. For Pete's Corner, I'm Francisco Ochoa.
Thanks, Francisco. And giving gifts is definitely a way to tell someone that you care about them. Savannah, guess what time it is?
Is it time for the update on the Christmas movie special?
It is. We'll send it to you, Landon.
Thanks, Cassie, and welcome back as Chris and I give you the Pete's Corner top 5 Christmas movies of all time. Now, last time we looked, we had the Santa Claus. So now it's time for number 3, Polar Express. Now then, Polar Express is interesting. It's an interesting one because it's more of a kid's movie, but I'll tell you what, Polar Express is fun because it reminds you of Christmas and why being a kid at Christmas. Also, the train's so realistic. You go to the North Pole, I mean, it just looks so fun. Plus, you can't go wrong with Tom Hanks. I mean, Forrest Gump, all the other Tom Hanks movies that I can't think of right now. I mean, you can't go wrong with a good Tom Hanks movie.
No, you can't. Green Mile.
Toy Story. They all come to my mind now.
How do you not remember Toy Story?
Goodness gracious.
You know, but it's also to go off of even Tom Hanks. Like, my favorite is all the parts that he plays in this. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he's kind of the one that pushed this movie. He may have helped either write it or help produce it. I just know he's very involved with that movie.
No, and he's a big time producer, so that wouldn't surprise me if he came in wanting to just really push that movie forward. And like I say, it's a fun movie full of all kinds of different things that are really exciting to see. I guess that brings us to number 2. Number 2 on our list, I don't even know what it is.
It's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was how, it's with Ralphie.
Ralphie.
Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story.
Yeah, so A Christmas Story plays nonstop on TBS on Christmas Day. So if you're looking to see it, if you haven't seen it yet, go to TBS on Christmas Day. It's right there all day, 24 hours. From midnight to the next midnight on the 26th, it's there. So yeah, if you're down for that. But that's an interesting one because it reminds you of down-to-earth Christmas. Not all Christmases are perfect. Every time you go into Christmas, you think, oh, I got the perfect Christmas. But sometimes you get that cousin that comes by and you're like, I don't even know why we invited them. Or you get that person that comes in, that kid that wants to shoot the BB gun. You tell him, hey, you're going to shoot your eye out. And what does he do? Shoot their eye out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's why that's so important to me. It's an important movie in my childhood.
So, what is your favorite part of that movie? Is it when Ralphie shoots the BB gun and then he like knocks the glass off and he's like, oh my gosh.
That was not my favorite part. It kind of traumatized me as a child. But I will say this: my favorite part, he goes to Santa and says, Santa, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. He was afraid of Santa. He went in there. He was afraid of Santa. Went in there and said, Santa, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. And Santa goes, no, kid, you're gonna shoot your eye out. And he kicks him down the slide like Sparta style. Oh my gosh, that's quality television.
See, now I got two favorites for me in a sense. One is the lamp, the leg lamp.
That is an iconic lamp.
I think it's one of those things that people over Christmas time, I think, buy it because it's like it's a Christmas story. That's what you think of Christmas when you see that. But then it's probably an issue once you have it after Christmas. You're like, what do I want this leg lamp for?
Yeah.
And also, when they make Ralphie wear the pink bunny costume.
Oh my gosh,
and he comes down the stairs and he's like, I'm not wearing this.
Or even the Ovaltine part. I mean, if you think about that, I mean, he goes all this time, spends all his stuff, and getting this Ovaltine ready, and, he just, it comes out, it's not what he wants. It's a message from Ovaltine. But we're going to send it back to Cassie. Thank you for tuning in for this segment of the top 5 Christmas movies of all time, brought to you by Pete's Corner. And we see us later. We're going to give the number 1 movie. We'll see what it is.
Thanks, Landon. I wonder what the last movie is going to be.
I'm not sure, but Kennedy Birch is now going to talk to us about students and sweets and treats this season.
Temptations are abound this time of year. Candy canes, chocolates, Christmas cookies. It's so easy to get caught up in it all. However, some students have found a loophole to both enjoy the holidays while also keeping in shape.
So every December I do this 30-day challenge, kind of a cleanse for after the holidays. Ever since I was little, me and my mom started working out, and so it's kind of a thing I do every year.
These 30-day challenges typically have sets of different exercises that will tell you the amount of reps you need or how long your cardio should last each day. Most focus on a different muscle group such as legs, arms, abs, and more.
So I usually find these workouts on Pinterest or like Instagram or something, and this year I'm focusing on legs and abdomen just so I can get more toned and have more muscle.
Kennedy has been fitness-oriented since her high school career in volleyball. Throughout the year, she works out 3 to 4 times a week at the Colvin, but in December, Kennedy completes her daily fitness challenges off her plan, alongside her normal workouts using weights in the Stairmaster.
It's up to you whether you use pre-made challenges online or create your own. Every December, Stacey Pierce and her family compete to see who can walk the most amount of steps.
All the women in my family, so my aunts, my grandparents, me, my mom, my cousins, we all have this little step competition, and so we get to see who has the most steps throughout the month of December, and it's just a little friendly competition.
Pierce uses her Apple Watch to track how many steps she completes each day. Along with walking to classes, she tries to walk at least 2 extra miles a day. But this challenge is not just about keeping fit for her.
But it's more about a healthy balance during the holidays, because we all like to eat on Christmas. I love my family's cooking. It's amazing. And so we like to indulge then, so we just kind of make up for it either way.
And she's right. You can find the right balance to keep both fit and healthy while indulging in all the sweets and treats of the holidays. And it's easy to do with these types of 30-day fitness challenges. For Pete's Corner, I'm Kennedy Birch.
Now that just inspired me to embark on my own fitness challenge this Christmas season. Thanks, Kennedy.
But we are going to take a break, but stay tuned because we have the last Christmas movie, and they're also going to be telling us about a famous tradition that OSU puts on. So stick around and we'll be right back.
At ASAP Energy, our goal is to provide the best customer service for whatever our clients need.
My relationship with ASAP Energy came about in 2007. I was wanting to build a convenience store. I didn't know how to do it. I'd never been in the business. I just felt comfortable with Rick. And so I knew that I wanted to do business with a guy like that. Integrity, loyalty, and family. I would recommend that to anybody. Thanks for taking a chance on me.
At ASAP Energy, everything matters.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this, well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
For those of you that are just joining us, this is Pete's Corner and we are going over holiday traditions. And Savannah, do you ever really think about how many traditions OSU has?
I know there's a ton.
Well, Dawson Ewers checks out some of those traditions for us.
Traditions. Can they change? How do they start? One holiday tradition on the campus of Oklahoma State has evolved into what is now known as Fanfare of Lights. Every Christmas season, Oklahoma State University shines bright when the orange Christmas lights are turned on. Every year, this celebration gathers OSU students, university employees, the Stillwater community, and even a special guest appearance from OSU President Burns Hargis and First Cowgirl Ann. But where did this tradition begin?
Manager of Allied Arts Kayla Loper says that a Fanfare of Lights used to be a matinee and dinner performance called the Magical Dinner. But in 2012, the long-lasting tradition evolved into what is now known as the Fanfare of Lights.
The last Magical Dinner in 2011 was the 37th annual celebration, but this celebration had a limit on attendance, and the goal of this celebration evolved into being open to all of the Stillwater community. And for the past 7 years, the Fanfare of Lights celebration has creatively gotten the community involved with singing group performances, pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus, and a wonderful night with friends and family on the orange-lit library lawn. What qualifies as a tradition is up for interpretation. Does it have to be the same each and every year, or is there room for changes? The questions about traditions may be endless, but one thing is for sure. The Fanfare of Lights is an annual celebration for the community to come together and celebrate the holiday season. And for me, that qualifies as a tradition. For Pete's Corner, I'm Dawson Ewers.
Thanks, Dawson. And now it is time for Landon and Chris to give us the top movie. We'll send it to you guys.
Thanks, Cassie, and welcome back to Landon and I giving you Pete's Corner's top 5 Christmas movies of all time. But before we get to that number 1, we're going to look at some of the honorable mentions that just missed the cut on this list.
Oh, excuse me. Yes? I'm trying to find a Turbo Man doll. Me too, me too. Do you have any more in the back?
Would you please tell her that you're not really Santa Claus? That there actually is no such person?
Well, I'm sorry to disagree with you, Mrs. Walker, but not only is there such a person, but here I am to prove it.
No, no, no.
Now at number 1 of Pete's Corner's top 5 Christmas movies of all time, it's, drumroll, It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Now, I know this was in the, I believe it was the top 10 of the American Film Institution for best film of all time. And what kind of makes this number 1 is the fact that it relates to A Christmas Carol.
Really?
You know, with, yes, really, actually, Landon. With, you know, the angels and for me, I actually just watched this recently because I heard all this, you know, excitement over, oh, It's a Wonderful Life around Christmas time, you watch it, and it was cool to kind of see how, you know, this guy George, he does everything that he can, and he thinks that he doesn't matter. And so then when he's like, nope, fine, I'm gonna end it, and then an angel comes, and I mean, I don't want to spill the beans because I want people to be able to watch it if they've never seen it. But it is fantastic. I don't know if you kind of have a favorite thing about it, or...
Well, one good thing about it features Jimmy Stewart, who is in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which was one of my favorite movies. So when I actually tuned in to see this movie, I was very surprised, and you know, he never seems to, you know, leave me empty-handed every time I go watch a Jimmy Stewart movie. So you know, solid acting by him. But I guess overall, you know, when I hear a bell ring, angel gets its wings.
Yeah. I will say, now, I don't know what it was, but something with the end too, and the girl's like, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. And I have heard that quote somewhere else, and I was like, oh, so that's where this came from.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea until I'd seen that.
I'll tell you what, this movie is probably one of the most quotable of all time. There's a lot of quotes in there that a lot of people use today that, you know, some of these youngins, they just don't know about. They don't know anything about it. So, you know, sometimes you gotta school them in the arts of Jimmy Stewart, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. So again, for anyone wondering our top 5, it went The Grinch at number 5, Santa Claus at 4, 3 was
Polar Express, and then of course number 2, It's a Christmas, The Christmas Story.
The Christmas Story, and then of course, right, yeah, and then of course at number 1 was It's a Wonderful Life. So again, we hope that you have enjoyed our top 5 list right here on Pete's Corner for all-time Christmas movies. We hope that you have a very Merry Christmas. Back to you, Cassie.
I kind of wondered if it was It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, okay. So now we're going to go to the Lone Star State and we'll have some tips from Robin Hearn on Christmas shopping.
Hello everyone, I'm Robin Hearn. I'm back home in Rockwall, Texas in my downtown square doing some last minute Christmas shopping. And it got me thinking of a couple of tips and tricks I want to share with you for this holiday season. So that way, whether you're back at home or you're in Stillwater, you can do your shopping with ease. First things first, make a list. So you want to get a list of everybody down that you want to give a gift to this year, and then write down the gifts that you think you want to give them. So it could be, for example, your mom, maybe she needs some new cookware or she wants a new sweater. So you need to have a list down so that way when you go into the store, you're not looking lost. Next up, you need to have a budget. I know you love your loved ones and you want to spend as much money as you can on each of them, but realistically you can't do that. So as you're looking at your list as what to get people, make a budget and say, you know, for my mom, I want to spend no more than $75. For my best friends, I want to split it in half, so I want to spend no more than $20 for each of them. You never know what you're going to find out there, so do your research. You want to make sure you get every sale possible. For example, my mom loves sweaters, so I'll always look at stores like Chico's and some of our downtown stores to see what they have going on. You always need to check their social media and their websites. Trust me, once you get to that store's website, the first thing that's going to pop up is sale. Sale, sale, and more sales. It's going to be 50% off, 30% off, 20% off, BOGO, which is one of my favorites. So make sure you do your research before you go into that store and buy your gift for your favorite loved one. Last but not least, make sure you're getting your holiday shopping in early. Whether you did it at Black Friday or you're doing it right before Christmas Eve, you need to make sure you have your gifts in time and ready to go for your loved ones to open on Christmas Day. That's all the time I have for today. Don't forget to use these tips and tricks as you're doing your holiday shopping this winter. And I hope you all have a great holiday and happy shopping.
Wow, Robin, thanks so much. I'm definitely using those tips when I go back home to Texas this holiday break. So, have you ever wondered why we decorate Christmas trees?
I've never really thought about it.
I'm not sure either, but Angel Swartz has the update on how to decorate Christmas trees and what the background about that is.
For as long as there have been Christmas trees, there have been the decorations that have adorned them. From tinsel to popcorn, decorations have come in a variety of forms. However, the most popular choice of all holiday decor has always been the ornament. The ornament has been around since the 1800s and is said to have been created when a humble glassblower named Hans Griener couldn't afford to put apples on his tree, so he made some instead. Since those days, the famous Christmas bulb has not only been made in various shapes and sizes, but has also been used to decorate trees in many different ways. With that being said, some people prefer to have a more aesthetically pleasing tree grace their living room and buy ornaments with a specific theme or color pattern in mind.
I feel like it adds more character to the tree, and it kind of like ties the whole room together. It's something that draws a lot of attention, and it kind of brings the whole room together, I feel like.
Now, while some people like their Christmas trees to be themed and pretty, other people prefer their Christmas trees to have a more personal touch to them, a little bit more of a homemade feel. And that can be achieved by using something as simple as a blank sheet of paper and turning it from this into a beautiful ornament. Homemade ornaments can be found on almost any family Christmas tree and serve as the perfect placeholder for favorite Christmas memories.
I grew up making Christmas ornaments with like my mom and my family, and we'd always decorate the tree with them every year. And making your own ornaments is just a really good memory to have with your family, and it gives your tree more character. And I've just always really liked having my own ornaments, so I can't wait to do it with my own family.
So, whether you choose to color coordinate your tree or decide to add your own personal touch, one thing we can all agree on is that the time spent with your family around the tree is what is really important.
Thanks, Angel. I'm glad we now know why we decorate the Christmas trees.
Well, that's all that we have for Pete's Corner.
Wait, time out. Shouldn't we talk about Bill on the shelf and how many times he's been in our scenes?
That's right. Let's roll the clip.
Wow, Bill is really good at hiding.
He really is. It's kind of scary. But that's all that we have for this week's episode of Pete's Corner. We hope that you enjoyed these holiday traditions.
I'm Savannah Gocher.
And I'm Cassie Gann.
Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays.